Hey guys, sorry I missed it. I was like thinking I had about 5 more minutes, and then I looked down and I'm like, 6:32. Gotta get going here. I was just sitting here ironing some things. Who's on with me? Who's here? I've got 6 people on. Who's on here with me? Oh boy. Okay, hang on. No. We're doing this. No, we're not doing this. No. No. All right. Ember about went through the door there. She's good with the cats that are outside, but when she sees the deer come around, she goes nuts. So I had to put the curtain up because there was a deer standing out there, and I thought she was going to go right through the window. Hey, Diane. Hey, Sierra. Vanessa. Hey, Sandy. Oh, you're okay, Sandy. That's all right. Hey, Monica. Hey, Sierra. Oh, you switched accounts. Okay, I was going to say, wait a minute. You were just right there. Okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, I had to divert the dog from breaking through the windows. So sorry about that, guys. And then she was going to start barking, and I was like, no. They don't want to hear you bark. All good. She's really loud too, and she doesn't bark that much, but man, she's got quite the little pitch when she barks. So tonight's just a work with me. I know I got to do the quilt along again, so I'm trying to get caught up because as you know, I was traveling for work, and I still have one more week of travel. So I wanted to get caught up. I'm going to try and do the quilt along tomorrow. If not, it's going to be next weekend because I leave Tuesday, get back Friday. So during the week is not an option, but I was going to try and at least get my quilt top going. It's not like it's everybody's doing something a little different, but at least to have something done so that you guys aren't going, hey, teacher has nothing and we're there, So anyway, that's what I'm working on tonight. Hey, Angela. So in case anybody's wondering about the quilt along, it's been 2 weeks. And I know we talked about it's going to be maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend. So I got to see. I was planning on having a really quiet Memorial Day weekend. That didn't happen. It's like all of a sudden, all these plans that I wasn't planning on doing came out of the wall, and I had to do it. Like commitments that I normally have that wasn't my weekend for the commitment became my weekend for the commitment kind of thing. So I was like, okay. So anyway, that kind of stuff, and just a lot of stuff came up all of a sudden out of nowhere. So yeah, and I'm just kind of trying to decide how I want to do this. So I've got all these really cool bright squares that I want to just kind of showcase, and I think I know what I want to do. And I think I'm just going to outline them in white. So you'll basically take each block, and then there's going to be white around it. So it'll be just a whole bunch of just the single blocks, and the white will just really pop it all. Oh, we got 11 people on. Who else is on here? Whole bunch of you guys are coming in. How was everybody's weekend? I can't believe it's Sunday night again. It's like I got home. Okay, so Friday, and I don't know if you guys pay attention to, those of you that don't live in Texas, to the Texas weather. So I left Dallas at about 3:15 Friday afternoon, which is usually about when I get out when I'm only there like overnight for work. And since I was there all week, then I knew traveling on Fridays are bad for traffic. And then with it being Memorial Weekend, the first day could or may not be bad just because everybody's jonesing to get away. So sometimes it's actually Thursday that's the bad day because everybody took off early. So I wasn't sure how the traffic was going to be coming home. So I was like, it normally takes me about 4.5, 5 hours, depending, to get home. So I was kind of planning the 5. So I figured I'll be home 8-ish. And that's cool. It's still light out. It's all good. Nobody planned on the severe storms being factored into that 5 hours. So I got home at 10. It was a very, very stressful drive home and just torrential rains to the point where I couldn't see on one of them, and you couldn't pull over to the side of the road because you're going down a highway and there's people behind you, people in front of you, people beside you, people trying to get on. And it's like, so if you pull over, you can get hit. So I just literally had to keep going, and it was dark and I couldn't see. It was raining like so hard. I couldn't even see out the window. The window was fogging up even though I had my defogger on. I was freaking out, just freaking out. And I had my dog with me and everything, but thankfully it only lasted for about 10 minutes. But right before that, I watched a big bolt of lightning come out of the sky and hit a cell tower literally across the road from me. It was just boom, scared the living crap out of me. And then that's when the rain just, skies opened. So yeah, I got home at 10 and I just went straight to bed. I was done. I was just so done. And then yesterday I was still done. I was so tired because I had to get up early for that. Wasn't supposed to be my weekend for that commitment. And so I had to get up and go really early. And I'm like, no. I want to stay in bed. So yeah. Oh yeah, Sierra. Just keep powering through it. Yep, that's all you can do, honey. Oh, I've missed so much this weekend just because all this stuff has come up and I'm like trying to keep up. So that's why I'm like, I hope I can do my quilt along tomorrow. That's why this isn't done too. I was planning on doing this yesterday and having it ready so that I could have done the quilt along tonight. I wasn't ready. So yes, thank you, Sandy. Hit that like button. Thank you. Yay! Way to go, Diane. I don't have my P.O. box yet. I need to get that. In fact, I had sent an email to a place right here that said I can email them for prices and email them for anything. They love emails. Still waiting for my email back. Maybe they're on vacation. I don't know. But I sent it to them Friday morning. Maybe they took Friday off. I don't know. Hey, Corinne. Oh, so tell me when the live was. Was that when she was teaching Liz? Is that the one you guys are talking about? Hey, Nancy. Yeah, because I saw that she was going to teach Liz how to sew online. That would have been fun. Is that the one you guys are talking about? My iron is right here, so if I just sneak off, that's all I'm doing. I'm just ironing real quick. Right back. Yeah, I wasn't sure if tonight would be my normal group of people or if everybody had plans and it's just going to be whoever. Oh, okay, so she's on again. All right. Oh, okay. Not a problem. Yeah, she was probably just trying to get some company. Not a big deal. That's cool though. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are able to go from one to another. I was telling somebody that earlier today, how it kind of seems like one of us starts and then when we're done, then the next person goes and the next, and so it's like an all night thing and it's really a big party and it's so much fun. And they're kind of looking at me like, I don't get it. And I was like, that's all right. We have fun. Spotted Bear Knits. Hi. Yeah, you're just finding all of us now, aren't you? Zoe's one of our girls. Yeah. Hey, Ashley. Live jumping. Yep. And that's the fun thing, especially on the weekends. If you don't have much going on, there's always a live or 2 or 10, you know. Hey, Mia. Hey, Mia, how's your grandma? It is. It's like going from one house to another because you really kind of are. Just be a screen. Yeah, live hopping all day. And this is probably, with it being a holiday weekend, you might be able to pick up more lives too, because if you're not doing anything or have plans, then yeah, those of us can go live either longer or more often. Hey, Zoa. Yeah, we were just talking about how we start one live and then when that one ends, there's another one and we just kind of go live hopping and it just kind of goes on all day, all night. It's so much fun. So I was explaining that. I don't know if you caught that. I was explaining that to a friend just a little while ago and they just kind of looked at me like, I don't get it. Oh, good, Mia. I'm glad I didn't get an update. So I've been thinking about you, honey. Hey, Marissa. Okay, so a bunch of you just came on. I don't know if you heard me say earlier, I was going to do my quilt along. I was trying to do it tonight. And then life happened. And I was planning on having a quiet weekend, and that didn't happen. And that was beyond my control. And then I'm trying to put this stuff together tonight. If I can, I'll do it tomorrow. If not, it'll be next weekend for sure. So if you started the quilt along with me, hang on. This is my last week of traveling. And it's all week. Last week was all week, and this week it's all week. And then I'm home. So we can get back to a better schedule. So I'm sorry. Just bear with me one more week. Hey, Juana. Hey, Maria. Hey. Yeah, they are. But there isn't a day that isn't busy for lives anymore. So we just make it work, It's all good. Hey, Sandy. So who's going on later tonight? Does anybody know? Oh, thanks, Maria. Okay. Mary might go on later. Okay. Yeah, you probably have, Sandy. It's all good. Yeah, Mary the live queen of late nights. Yeah. Kind of like the Johnny Carson. Yeah, a bunch of you missed it earlier, right when I first came on. Ember was at the door back here. If you remember, I have 2 doors back here. Sometimes I have the camera pointed the right way. And she doesn't, she gets excited when she sees the cats, but she doesn't get, like wow, excited. She's just like, hey, cats are out there. All of a sudden, I'm talking to you guys and hear this wham, and it's her hitting the door really hard, looking out the glass, and she saw a deer. The deer was like 6 feet away, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. We can't be breaking the glass. So yeah, that was quite exciting there for a minute. Hey, Shayna. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I hit the wall and I can't stay up, and especially this weekend, man. Last week, I can't even begin to share with you guys all the stuff we go through in the last couple of weeks when we turn a project over. We call it hell weeks. Anything and everything happens. And all I'm going to say, and I'm not going to elaborate because I can't, but those of you that know what I do, I'm in construction management. And so we go to turn over a project. We test all the systems and obviously, make sure everything's working and whatever. I didn't plan on testing the 911 system. We tested that 3 times. It's been stressful. So yeah, we're a full service contractor. Not the way I want to be. All right. And I'm doing what we call chain piecing, where I told you earlier last time for the quilt along is you just sew and then you sew the next one and you don't cut them apart, you don't stop or anything. So I'll show you before I go to cut them apart what I was talking about. It'll make perfect sense if you're not sure what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do a couple more here before I show you. Chain piecing is very soothing, isn't it, Sierra? You can just turn on music or whatever you want to listen to or watch and just sit down and go. Once you've got everything completely cut, you're golden, and it's just methodical, meditative, maybe even. Yep. Yeah, there's so many things you can do it with, Sierra. Absolutely. Hey, Angelina. I'm doing well, thank you. My allergies, I just finally took some medicine a little while ago for them. Because in all reality, it was more like I think it was more like a front came through. I was doing okay, and then all of a sudden I got a really killer headache, and then it started raining. So I just took some, Tylenol or whatever, and within like 10 minutes, it was gone, and I felt great, and I feel fine again now, and the sun's back out. So, but man, I was just like, I just want to go curl up in a ball. My head hurts so bad from this pressure. But yeah, I was telling everybody too. I've been so busy, and I know you guys haven't noticed on my schedule. I just haven't been chatting as much with people, and I haven't been able to post on Instagram as much because I've been swamped. I'm in hell weeks on the last 2 weeks of turning a project over and not been home. So I will be done next Friday, I hope. But at least traveling, I should be done. I shouldn't. If I'm still doing stuff on the project, I shouldn't have to go. So that's my life will get back to normal again. And I miss you guys. I miss talking to all you guys. I miss chatting with all of you. I feel like I'm missing out on everything. I know I haven't been off the planet that long. It's only been maybe a couple weeks, but man, it feels like it's been forever. Oh, that's okay, Sarah. That's all right. Yeah, and then literally I could tell the minute it kicked in, it was just like, so I know it was purely from that front moving in or whatever. No, you don't need to bark. That was not anything that you need to raise an alert on. So, all right. So when I was talking to you earlier last week, for those of you that didn't quite understand chain piecing, this is chain piecing. So I just sewed them and kept going and kept going and kept going. And so now I'll just go and cut in between and cut them all apart and iron them. It makes things go so much faster, and it also saves thread. So that's the one cool thing. And then you can just take your blade, and I just set it down on my cutting board and just chop it real fast, and then I'll go over and iron everything. But yeah, I just got all of these done like in no time. It went really quick. And then a friend of mine stopped by a little while ago. I hadn't seen her in a long time. She stayed at the Airbnb next door to me for 6 months. They were only planning on being there for about 2 or 3. They travel they can work anywhere. They're self-employed. And so they literally live in Airbnbs all around the world, and they'll go from one to another and stay for like 2 months or whatever. And so I hadn't talked to her for quite a while. And she texted me the other day and just wanted some advice. She always has some new thing she's working on. And I was like, yeah, you can come on over. And so she wanted to come over this afternoon. And if it would have worked out, she would have been on the live here for a couple of minutes. But we got done, and she really needed to get going because they're moving to their next Airbnb this week. And so they're going out of the country for this next stint because they've been stuck here because of COVID. And so she's like, yeah, we want to leave for a little while. So they're headed to their next place. And so she came by, and the idea that she needed some help with was really cute and really kind of up our alley. So I can't talk much about it yet, but later this summer, I think I'll be able to talk about it a little more. It's still in the planning stages, and she's still in the got to keep it hush hush kind of thing in case somebody else grabs it kind of idea thing. So it was really cute, and it's really exciting, and I'm going to get to help her a little bit with it. And that's why she came over, because she knew I could help her with some of the stuff. And so I told her, I said, yeah, if you're still here at 6:30, I'm going to introduce you and make you say hi. And she goes, oh, that's cool. But yeah, so that was kind of fun to see her, and she loves Ember. Absolutely adored Ember. They used to come borrow her when they lived next door. So she would come over and can I have Ember for the day? It's so quiet over there. And I was like, oh yeah, you take her, just bring her back when you're done. And then, oh, they spoil her too death. I mean, they take her over. Oh, we gave her a bath. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. Oh, can we take her for a walk? Yeah, no. How about if we take her down and go swimming at the lake? Heck, you want to come with? I'm like, yes, we'd go down to the lake for an hour, just little stuff like that. I miss having them next door. It was really nice. It was good for her too, because they worked with her a lot. She was really a very hyper puppy, let me say. And she was 8 months when I got her. And so she was just a year when they started working with her. And they used to foster dogs before they started doing this, and they sold their house. And now they don't have a house anymore, obviously, since they just go live anywhere for a couple of months and then go to another place and live for a couple of months. That way they get to see the world and everything, and they can do it. So she missed her dogs. They used to have dogs, and she's like, can I borrow her? I'm like, anytime you want, come on over. So yeah, Ember enjoyed seeing her, and she brought her all kinds of gifts and treats, and yeah, so sweet. So sweet. Hey, Pia. All right, Nancy, take the plunge, because that's what I'm doing right now. And I don't know yet if I'm doing the second quilt along tomorrow or if it'll be next weekend. It all depends upon how this goes. My weekend just totally spun out of control. Not the way I planned it. So that kind of derailed my plans on getting that quilt along this week. But if I don't do it tomorrow, I will definitely do it next Saturday. And that's the plan. So if you don't see a post about it later tonight, then it's going to be next weekend. It'll be next Saturday. And I'll probably post either way, just so people know. And then that way it'll be either tomorrow or next Saturday. This actually works, guys, if you're not noticing what I'm doing. I'm finger creasing. And I didn't know if it was going to do it well enough. It's doing it pretty good. And so I'll be able to just take it over and real quick hit it with an iron. But some fabrics you can finger crease like this, and look, it stays just like I ironed it. So if I really wanted to crease it, I mean, I could take it and just sew it like this, because it's good enough. It's holding it open for me. But yeah, it's going really well. So this fabric's got just enough crispness to it that I can do it. So just saying, if you're doing some quilting stuff, this is always an option. If you're just standing there talking to somebody and like I'm doing, then and you don't want to go to the iron real quick, you can do this. And it's like you're ironing it. It just takes I don't know, it might take just a little bit longer to do it. I'm kind of futzing with it. So, hey, Narrow. Okay, so did I miss anybody that came in? Barbara, hey. So yeah, this is going to be a really bright quilt. This is that charm pack that I showed you guys that had all the bright colors in it. And then I've got the Christmas strips, but I had this white that I cut. And I don't want the white with the Christmas strips because there's a lot of warm colors in that. And it might look okay, but I don't think it's going to give me the look that I want. So I'm going to do something different with that. But I love these quilts that have mainly a white background to pop all these other stuff, and it really puts the emphasis on the other parts. So yeah. I can't believe we're at the end of May, guys. How did that happen? We've been doing these YouTube lives for 6 months. Remember, girls, when we went, those of you that were around at the end of December, and we were all trying to get rolling doing YouTube and everything? And look at where we're at 6 months later. Because remember, we were all saying, what, are doing our end of the year, first of the year boards for the goals and everything. And I always kept telling everybody, I said, this is going to be fun to see where everybody's at next year at this time versus where we're at now and how we've all grown. Well, just look at this, 6 months. And look at how far a lot of people have come. Isn't it amazing? I mean, doing the YouTube lives, we've gotten through the bugs. And remember how many of us on the back end were trying to figure out, like Amber was having problems with her always freezing, and she'd always have to restart it several times. And I couldn't figure out, I don't remember what it was I couldn't figure out at the beginning. It was something, I think it was on the behind the scenes thing I couldn't figure out. And then trying just to figure out how to go live, schedule it, and then how to go live. I mean, remember all that? Oh my gosh, it feels like that was a lifetime ago, and it's only been 6 months. You imagine what it's going to be like in another 6 months, guys? It's going to be amazing. I mean, Shayna, you're hitting 1,000. Girl, you got a giveaway. 6 months ago, none of us were there. Isn't that amazing? It's just so cool. Surely the hard part about getting on YouTube, most of the people was just getting the nerve. They just had to get the nerve. The rest of it then was just figuring out exactly how to do it, which we talked everybody through that didn't know how and that had already done it. So yeah, it was just getting the nerve. And how do you stand up here and talk when you're really not, nobody's there conversing right back there, you know, you're chatting, but it's a whole different thing when there's nobody, you're not looking at somebody's face. And I'm kind of carrying a conversation on with nobody, but I'm not, you know, it's kind of, that's kind of what it feels like. So, you know, it's getting past all that. And I did that when I did, and I still do, Facebook sales for my other Etsy shop. So I kind of got used to this whole format where you talk and then the people are chatting right there. So that was not the hard part for me. For me was more just getting the camera angles right and making sure my lighting is always good, because when I do the sales, I just stand right here. And so I just have to worry about the lighting right here. But here I'm moving and I'm needing to show you guys stuff. So that was the hardest part for me. And I'm getting better. I still have some times where I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or that was a little more awkward than it needed to be, you know? So yeah, here I'm missing what you guys are saying. I gotta pull my computer up so I can scroll back and see what you said here. Oh, I'm just doing my own thing, Barbara. So I'm just taking a charm back and I'm just adding white around it for right now. And I haven't quite decided if I'm probably just going to do the squares and then just do the white and then just do squares with the white. So I mean, I could cut them and make them rectangular if I wanted to, or just get real fancy. My brain doesn't have that capacity right now. It's just, I'm on extreme overload right now. So I'm just going to probably keep this one super easy. Yeah, Sarah, the longest month ever. Well, they're 31 days. So think of it that way if you need to. Sandy, you've been such a part of this. I mean, girl, this is you too. You have done so much to help all of us. So, you know, those that maybe aren't doing live but supporting us in the chats and all that, we couldn't have done this without you guys either. And don't think that we don't recognize that, because we know you're working as hard in those chats as we are in front of the camera. So girl, you know, we love you. We couldn't have done it without you. So you bet you're going to keep hearing it too. All you guys are going to keep hearing it, because we can't do this without you guys. Yeah, but look how you've grown, Shayna. 6 months ago, you had 44. Now you're at 1,000. That's so cool. So, so cool. Yep. And that's the hardest part, is taking that leap. Sorry, this is bugging me. Every now and then I'll see a big piece of fuzz on the floor I missed when I was sweeping. It's like, it's gotta go. But yeah, and that's just it. You know, you're like, why did I wait so long? Why didn't I just do it? You know, and it's because you just got to get over that stage fright. And then once you're over it and you've done it a few times, then it's just like, It's second nature. It's not hard. And I'm still struggling with a little bit, like I said, camera angles and stuff. And I know that'll come once I have a little more freedom. I've just got to mess with another program, and right now is not the time. In about 2 weeks, that'll be the time. But right now, I can't. So I've just got to deal with what my bandwidth is only about this long right now until after next week. So, yeah. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, we have. So we've made so many awesome friends, and it's amazing how close you can all get without actually physically seeing each other in person. And we've all gotten so close, and we've all done so much for each other in so many ways, in ways that we may not even know. And this is just getting going, guys. It's exciting. It's exciting. We've all got such bright futures. And there's people on here that still are saying, "Oh, I'm gonna someday." Well, you guys are where we were 6 months ago. So we totally understand. And we're here to support you, and we're here to encourage you and to get you through those bumps, just like we got all of ourselves through those bumps earlier. And we've learned. So we know all the tricks and the tips now, where back then we were still trying to figure out the tricks and the ticks. And I can't say that. Tricks and tips. Say that 5 times fast. But, yeah. And we have friends all over the world. I mean, we've got friends in Europe. We've got friends all over the United States, Canada. Have we met anybody from Mexico yet? I wonder. I don't remember. I don't think so. I think Puerto Rico's been on. But yeah, it's really awesome. Really, really awesome. I still sit and think about this when it was like, I can't even remember. 1st of December, I think, is kind of when we all met each other. I think. I know it was a blur because that's when I was starting to travel too, was November. I started traveling, and then it seems like it was right after that we all kind of met each other, and it just took off over Christmas vacation because we all had time, and we all just really buckled down and got to know each other and started doing stuff. And after that, it just all exploded, as you have time. And my time was limited until, and I can't wait until after this next week when I have time. Because it's time. It's time that I get a bunch of stuff that I've been thinking about out of my head and happening, and I just haven't done it because I haven't had time. And those of you that have kids, I don't know how you do it. I don't have kids, and I'm trying to find time. So it works somehow. We all make it work. We are, Zoe. We so are. We may already just don't know it too, because there's so many people that do watch and may not chat or anything, and they may watch us regularly and we just don't know. So, yeah. It sure is awesome, Lily. I agree. It is really, it just blows my mind sometimes when I think about how all this came about and how it was, I think it was a need we all needed. And I think that's why it just exploded the way it did. And it's so cool. It's so cool. Okay, I'm getting a little melodramatic and a little emotional, so we probably got to stop there. But yeah. Yeah, and now everybody's doing it, Sandy, and it's okay. It's so okay. And now some people are starting to do Instagram lives too, which is cool. And then there's Facebook lives. Nobody's done that yet, but that I'm sure is coming as well. So yeah. I missed something. I missed something. Yep, so we're all besties. We all are. Because, it's so cool because all we have to do is say, hey, can you? And you were like, yeah, let me send you a message. It doesn't matter who it is. you know, everybody's got time for everybody, and we make the time work, what little time we've got sometimes. So it's so cool. Awesome, Lily. That's so cool. Doesn't that just feel like hopeful and exciting, and yeah. Yep, that's for sure, Sarah. All it takes is a little encouragement and the world just bursts open. So, so exciting. I can't even imagine. I'm trying to remember what it was like not having you guys in my world. I don't want to remember, but I'm like, it was not that long ago, but it seems like we've known each other forever, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I don't want to find out what it's like before again. This is so cool. Yeah, all the kids at home, Barbara. I know these girls are amazing that have kids. It's just, oh, Corinne. You know, Corinne, I really think there was something about our group that just, we all needed this, and we all just happened to be in the same place at the same time at the right time. And so this broke open where you weren't getting all the people that you got to know, and just, I just feel like this was just something that happened. It wasn't necessarily something that was planned or created or whatever. It's just we all found each other, and we all needed the same thing at the exact same time. And we broke this open, and you guys are needing it too. So you're finding us, and it's just really cool. It's really cool. I think we're all going to look back and go, remember when? That's what helped me, was when, you know, that happened, or this happened, or that person said this, or they were able to help me do that. And, you know, the support group just all came into being. And we all have things we're getting out of it. We all may not be getting the same thing, which is awesome because we all don't have the same needs, but everybody's getting what they need. I hope. I hope. If not, I hope somebody speaks up and says, I need this. And we'll be like, okay, let's figure it out for you, you know? So, yeah. I know, Narrow. I think we're all saving each other. I really do. We are all saving each other. And I know there's a lot of people that are super, super busy that we don't see as much anymore. And I hope that they come on still, even if they're in the background, because we miss them, we love them, but we understand. And it's so awesome that they're too busy, because that means their businesses are growing. And I get it. Oh, I get it. It's just so, time just goes so quickly. From Serbia. Okay, cool. We're trying to figure out how many countries we all have people watching from, and I think we're getting further than we think. So, oh, sweet, cool. It's 2 a.m. I know. Only baby free time. I get it. I get it. Yeah, you got to take the time when you can get it. I just hope that that doesn't kill your day with no sleep too at 2 in the morning. But yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. Yeah, 80-hour work weeks are tough. Those are tough, Lily. I agree. Oh, Corinne, you know, whenever you feel like it, a lot of the girls that are doing lives now started just doing the videos. And that was their way to kind of get their toe wet and get comfortable in front of the camera. So maybe that. And then just kind of, you don't have to do anything big. My very first one that I did was an announcement. It was 5 minutes, maybe 10, was an announcement that Amber and I were starting the sew-alongs. And that was New Year's Eve. I think I did that. And that was just a real quick blurb. And that was it. And I put it up, and there we go. I don't do a lot of pre-recorded videos yet, because that takes time to edit. And that's another thing I'm going to start doing once next week's over. So I want to start doing more videos and stuff and some more tutorials and that on pre-recorded things. So, because I've got some things that you guys want to learn, but it's better that I do it as a tutorial than as a live, just because there's a lot of stuff I want to cut out, and it'll just flow better, and it'll make learning it a lot easier, because then you're not like, oh, this is done, and then now I got to wait how long, and oh, now we're on the next step, and then I got to wait how long, because that's just what happens. So we can go from step to step to step to step, and then if you want to, you know, watch that step, do it, turn it, you know, shut the video off while you go do it, and then when you get to the next step, turn it back on again, that kind of stuff. That's what I see that for. So that takes editing and all that. So those will be coming this summer. But yeah, lives, they don't have to be anything special just to get your toe wet. So just try it. Go, you know, tell everybody when you're going to do it, and we'll all come support you. We all did that. We're all like, okay, guys, I'm going to try and go live here in about an hour. And we're all like, okay, post it. We'll all be there. We'll be there. And that's what we did. And we all just supported each other through those first lives until we got a little more comfortable. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, mid-November. Okay, that sounds probably about right, Sandy. Yeah. I know, Sandy. You got a machine. See? I know. And you wanted one so bad. It is, Nero. It is. It is. Yeah. No, Nero, you did. Those words were right. Yep. You were so right. Yeah, so, you know, Corinne, just take baby steps. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Seriously, 5 minutes. And then the minute you come on and we're all on there, all of a sudden you're going to be like, I've been on an hour? Really? I felt like 5 minutes, you know, because I'm still looking and I'm like, I'm at 50 minutes already, you guys. How did that happen? So, yeah. Yeah, and if you got little ones, Lily, yeah, you've got to pick times, because I know some of the people here with kids, they manage to pick a time either when the kids are asleep or when the kids are out of the house, or they plan time for them to be at an activity or something. So yeah, it does take a little more scheduling sometimes with the kiddos. I get it. And that might be where some of the pre-recorded stuff comes in to help fill in your channel. So if you can't do a regular live because of that, that's understandable. Yes, Mia. Yeah, there are times and places for those pre-recorded ones. Absolutely. And as you're noticing, there's these new videos called shorts coming out, and they make so much sense. I was like, why didn't we think of this sooner? And I don't know if it's something Angela started or whether it's something that started somewhere else and she's picking up on it, and then a couple other people are picking up on it. But they're doing like little 8-second, 10-second little videos and just posting them, what they're doing for a moment or whatever. Try that. You know, a little 8-10-second live short, and you're done. So yeah. Yeah, that's it, Sierra. You got to pick the time that it works for you. Hey, the little hive. Hello, hello. Hi, according to Danny. Like TikTok, Sandy. Yes, just like TikTok. I think it makes a lot of sense if you're trying to gain some confidence and just take baby steps. I think the confidence problem comes that we have an expectation out of ourselves, or we think that since those of us that are doing lives right now are on for like who knows how many hours, that's what is supposed to happen. No, we've built our way up to that. You know, when we first started doing the lives, we were doing short ones. And if you go look back at some of our first videos, I don't watch my videos ever again, guys. I can't do that. I would just be like, whoa. I'm taking that one down, you know, I'm taking them all down, you know, I'd never leave them up. But you'll definitely see skills being honed and things getting a little bit, I don't know, not more professional, but I guess more natural. We're not so stiff. We're not so worried, that kind of thing. You know, we're a little more laid back. Mine are never going to be professional because I mess up on camera all the time. I screw up. When people are watching me do stuff is when I screw up. And I kid you not, if somebody tells me to go up to the chalkboard and write when I was a kid, I couldn't do it because people were watching me and I'd mess up and erase so many times. I'm like, I can't even write a simple letter right, you know? And I'm still that way. If you're watching over my shoulder, I will screw up. And you guys see the screw ups. You see them on my lives all the time. I'm better about it now. It's just, it happened. Okay, let's back up a minute and redo it. And this is what happens when you guys do this because you're probably going to do it too, you know? So I don't mind it so much because then I do show you how to fix it. And that way also you see, I'm not perfect. I'm so far from perfect. I'm just right down there with you guys. So yeah. Yeah, I get it, Sandy. Yeah, once you get to where you guys can actually go places again, I think that's going to help so much. That's awesome though, Sarah. Yeah, that's so cool. And it wouldn't take you long if you start doing it again to probably get your viewership up. So yeah. Yeah, see Mia, the voiceovers, yeah, you might have to like go sit at a library or park or something and just do it on headphones so that you get the noise canceling ones and then it'll cancel out most of that noise in the background and you can do a voiceover that way. So I don't know. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, Wendy. I don't know if I saw you come on. Oh, I know. You know, Wendy, a lot of people when I'm working and I pick up the phone think I'm like this teenager sometimes. I guess I have a younger voice on the phone. A lot of them are like, oh, well, when you get some experience in the industry, and I'm like, oh boy, how old do you think I am? You know, they think I'm fresh out of college or something. I mean, I'd take it. Yeah, I'll take that. But it just makes me laugh when they say that because I was like, oh boy, you're gonna be really embarrassed when you meet me. I didn't say that to him, but I'm thinking this going, you're gonna be thinking this 21-year-old's gonna be walking out. Oh, very cool, Dr. Geneva. I think you've been on once before. I seriously think I've seen you before. So you might be subscribed to one of the girls that's either on here or that I'm affiliated with too. And that might be why it came up on your recommended. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. We're just all chatting tonight, having a good time. If you haven't been around us much and you just want some good girl talk sometimes, along with learning how to do some sewing or whatever somebody's working on, because everybody that's in here, plus all the people that are kind of in our circle world, whatever we want to call it, each has their own little thing that they do really well. Some are sublimating, some are working with HDV, some are doing embroidery, sewing, some are doing other crafts as well and showing them on their scrapbooking, that kind of thing. So we just all chat. Whether you do what they're doing or not, we just all come on and just check in on each other and have a good time. So. Oh, Danny. Yeah, I know. I know. You got to get past that because we were all there. Okay. And Zoa can tell you about nerves. if she's still on here, she had a hard time at first as well. She was really scared. And I'm one of those where I just jump in with both feet. And I might be nervous, I'm not going to tell you. And then there's a couple others on here too. Mia was really nervous, and now she's doing really well. Hey, Mary. Who else is on here that I remember we talked through the first couple and held their hand? I can't remember. Man, like I said, it seems like that was long ago, and it wasn't. 6 months. Short brain, short brain. Yeah, Zoe, you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. And you know, Zoe, I loved when you wore your headdress a couple weeks ago. That was so cool. So cool. I think I told you that, but if I didn't, I want to make sure I tell you. That was really, really beautiful. And I loved how your baby was playing with it. He was really loving that. Mia, you might eventually figure out what you did. It might be something so simple, and you might all of a sudden have all of these that you can upload. So, and edit, maybe just even put them all together to some degree and just do like this little montage. That might be kind of cool too. Hey, Leslie. So those that are coming on, happy Memorial Weekend. And if you're not from the US, this is a 3-day holiday for us. And tomorrow is Memorial Day, where we remember those that fought in wars and passed away for our freedom. So Memorial Day is kind of a big day. And Shayna, thank you for serving. And those that I don't know that served that are on here, thank you as well. I just know Shayna for certain did. I know, Nero. Yeah, your nerves can really, really do a number with you. Yeah, I know, Shayna. I know you're so proud to serve. You are not shy about telling us, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Zoa, that does help when everybody's there. Yep, supporting you. That really does make that difference. No, Danny, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Not one of these days. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. Make it a goal. Set yourself a goal that you do it, like, say, by the end of June or something like that. And then don't wait till the end. Then you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Just decide, oh, I'm just going to get up and do it. It's just going to be one day you're just going to wake up and go, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do 10 seconds. I'm just going to go on, say who I am, say what my channel is, say hi to everybody after I've told everybody to come on over, because if you tell all of us to come over, we'll go over there. And then I bet you we'll keep you talking for longer than 5-10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, it's over. Your first time's over. And the next time's not so hard. Oh, I bet, Mia. Yeah. And that's the other thing, is I haven't messed with it. I know I did one for a contest several years ago, and you can see it. It's one of my old ones that's on my channel. I'm not real proud of it, but it was okay. And I did that one on my phone, purely on my phone, and uploaded it to YouTube. So I see what you're saying. I totally know. Oh, awesome. Dr. Early, you're a proud Army veteran. Thank you. Thank you for serving as well. The glitter iron-on sheets. Is that the HTV Narrow that you're talking about? Is it like the Cricut ones, or the brand? Yeah, see, Danny? Yeah, we're all here supporting you. You can do it. Absolutely can. Yep, there you go. Mia's got a great suggestion right there. And that might be all you need to do to kind of get past that nervousness. But yeah, don't look at the camera, don't do anything. Like she said, just do the snippets and then go back and do a voiceover and just kind of explain what you're doing, who you are and what you're doing. It doesn't have to be very long. And then upload that, and yeah, your first one's over. You're done. Yes, Shana, actually, this is my church. So this is my church shirt, and this is our logo. And yeah, it's all the words of affirmation that we believe in our church. So yep, it is. It's got all kinds of good stuff. I haven't even read all of them, to tell you the truth. I need to. I've been wearing this shirt for a couple months. Are you asking me, Dr. Early, that, or because I have two single needles right now? I don't have a multi-needle yet. I'm not fully embroidery. I'm sewing with touches of embroidery in my business, and so I will have a multi-needle eventually. It's just not a dire need, but when I get it, I know I'll use it a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So it's one of those where, yeah, when you finally get it, it happens and you just start using it. Yes, definitely, Danny. Let us know. Let us all know. And then, yeah, we can go all and check it out and help you out there. Oh, the one behind me, this one. Okay, so you did see this one. This is a brother uh, Quattro 2. It's the Innova 6700D. I got that right at the beginning of COVID last year as a used machine. So it's a couple of years old, but it had hardly had any use. It was like practically brand new. So yeah, I love it. It's a sewing combo machine and with embroidery, and it's got the biggest tube is an 8x12 that it uses. And it works really well to do some of the bigger things, but I know I'm kind of limited too because the big 8x12 on the single needle, it's not ideal. It's not meant really for it to work really slick on that. I think I just saw somebody leaving. Sorry, just one second. Oh, are you leaving, Angelina? Okay, thanks for stopping by, sweetie. I'm glad I got to talk to you for a few minutes. But yeah, you have a good rest of the day and enjoy your Memorial Day. But yeah, I've used the 8x12 on that one. And I noticed there could be a small break point on these single needles on size that works really comfortably with them. And that one's kind of a big machine. So if it's not, it works. Don't get me wrong, it works. I guess where I'm trying to find the words to explain is I feel like it gets a little clunky when it's that big because it's just got that single arm holding it and it's transferring that and whatever weight that you have on that big frame. And the frame is lightweight to begin with because it's those plastic frames. So there's no weight to that. So it's kind of one of those where I think it works really good for lighter weight stuff. But if I were to try and do like a quilt or a quilt top on that, I think that would be too much and it may not move the way it's supposed to on the machine. And so maybe it wouldn't stitch out. And the reason why I say that is because I was testing, let me show you. I was testing this block stitch out. Now this is the 8x8 hoop. It's not the biggest one, so it's the second biggest one. And if you notice, see that shadowing? It moved. And I was doing nothing. It moved. So that's where I'm coming from with that. I've got 2 pieces of fabric because I was testing it for the quilt along with a piece of the batting in the middle. And I even went and pinned so that I knew when I first started that wouldn't move on me and everything would go okay. And it was doing really good for the most part, but then some areas when I really look at it closely shadowed and moved just a touch. So there's a little bit like right here, but it's mainly right in this corner. And so my arm that attaches is here, and this is where it started moving. So that's why I'm thinking you can't always get this really large hoop on these single needles. Maybe is not ideal. It may not 100% work like we want. So I don't know if that was just this and me. I've got to test it a few more times, but what I was seeing led me to that thought. Yeah, so you've got that same, you've got the 14x8.5, where mine's the 8x12. And it is a pain. So maybe I'm on to that thought is right, and you're running into those problems too. Because when that happened, I was like, oh boy, okay, this might push a multi-needle a little sooner than I thought, just because it'll have the stabilization on both sides, not just the one. Because I think what happens is it's dropping, and this is an over exaggeration, but you've got it, even though you've got the bed right here, it's still dropping just enough that it moves a little. Sorry, engineering. But I kind of think there's something to that. Hey, Liz, I didn't see you come on. Sorry. Hey, hey. Oh, thank you, Liz. I have a calming presence. That's awesome. Oh, you got a Ruby 90, Leslie. When did you get that? That's not your big multi-needle, is it? No, that one's a Husqvarna. Your big one's a Husqvarna. Okay, so Wendy, I am onto something there. Okay, because I haven't done much on those bigger ones. I've kind of stayed at the smaller hoops. And when I saw that happen, I was like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So that's good to know. So I think, yeah, I think the multi-needle will be a little sooner than I thought, if that's going to be an issue. Ah, a week ago. Well, congrats, Leslie. It's like you had a baby. And we're all just like, I try to explain to people, I'm like tool time Tim when we get around these sewing machines, he was like, and I'm just like, and what was the machine? And what was it? And did it do this? We're all freaking out. And the guys are like, what? And we're like, well, you know how you are with your cars or your tools or whatever. Well, that's us with the machines, And Barbara, it might just be me. So like I said, I've only done it once, and it might have been the file. I got to redo that file and try it on a little bit smaller of a hoop. I think I can try it on my 5x7 here and see if it still does it. And if it isn't, it's the file. But I'm thinking it was that, because I think I caught it dragging just a little bit when it was doing that. Yeah, Rachel, no, and I thought, I would blame it on that, but I wasn't even. I put it in, I walked away, so I wasn't even near the table, because see, it sits completely away, and then I was over here, so I don't know. I got to try it again. I got to do a little more testing, but I was a little bummed, so I was like, oh, I was so looking forward to using those on certain quilts and stuff. So I gotta keep messing with it though. I haven't given up yet. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna try it again. We'll see. Oh, I get that. Yeah. Yeah. If you're only doing small items, then yeah, the single needles definitely. I totally, that's exactly where my thought was too, was small items would probably be done on single needles and then the bigger items would be done on a multi. That's the way I would see it for me as well too. Um, it's not really a table because in all reality, this is the embroidery arm. So it slides on, as you can see, it slides on. And so it creates a table per se for that, where my Janome doesn't do that. The Janome just hooks in the back. And so I can see where a table, like Mary says, she has to have a table, there are tables that come for this and it just slides up. So unfortunately, this one doesn't have that ability because this arm would not do it because it goes all the way out to here. So. Yep, Mary. Yeah, and I've seen that table for this Janome, so I know what you're talking about. It just depends upon where the arm sits, and my Janome arm sits here. I'll show you guys. It's back here, and this one moves independently. So this will move out, and then my hoop attaches back there, and so then this moves my hoop. Where on the Brothers, it's on the side, and so the hoop moves like this and like this. Danny, you want to get, well, I love my Janomes. Okay, so if you pick up a Janome, you definitely want to consider one of those. Otherwise, there's a Brother that has a 6x12 that I think is in that $1,500 range. I can't remember the numbers, but it's like 1,400 or 1,500 or 1,100 or something like that. I know a lot of people love that one, and it does have, like I said, that 6x12 hoop. So that's right in that price range. And definitely, if you've hung around me enough, you know I'm a big proponent of the sew and back stores and their used inventory. So if you have a sew and back that's near, they're trustworthy to make sure that the machine is got no problems before it goes out the door. So definitely, if you have one of those, go see what they've got for used, because you can get a used one for really cheap. So lots of options. Don't be afraid. Yeah, Mary, like Mary says, Janomes are awesome. And they're a name that you don't know. The Viking, the Husqvarna, those are amazing machines. Elna are made by Janome. So if you run into an Elna and you don't know the name, they're good. They're real good. So yeah, Brother, people just hear Brother and they know Brother. So, but there are a lot of other brands out there. So definitely Google. Then if you find some machines and you're still uncertain, just come on and ask us, we'll help guide you. Yep, Rachel. Yep. Just the slightest bump will throw it off. Absolutely. No, I thought of that too. Yeah. So I got to redo it, but it could be the file too. The file could be bad. So anyways, so anyway, what I was going to do with these then is then I take this, since I've got these all cut, and I'll take my white and I'll put another band at the bottom. Or if you're going to band them together, because that would be the absolute bottom piece if you want to do that. But what I would do then to do my chain is sew them together, and you can either lay them out and decide how you want them, or you can just randomly pick them up and put them together. And so then if I sew them together and you open it up, then see you're starting to get a long series together. And then when you get those, that however long you're going to do it, because you got to decide what size your quilt's going to be. So you decide how long these are all going to become. Is it going to be 70 inches, 60 inches, 50 inches, 40 inches, however. So you figure out how many you got to do and get in that range, because obviously you're not going to hit it perfectly on. So these sewn measure about 6¼ inches, 6 3/8. Take into account your next seams. So mine are running about 1/4 inch seams, maybe 3/8. So I've got 6 1/4. So I've really, if I add another one on, this will become 6. This will become 6. I'll have 12 inches. So if I'm going to do 48, then if these two are 12, then I'm going to shoot for doing about 4 of them, 4 series of 2 each, and then measure again to see where I'm at. It's probably not going to be quite at 48. You know, your seams are going to vary just a little. Nobody's 100% perfect. And then you stop wherever you like it to be. You can go a little under the 48, add one more, and go a little over 50 if that's what you're trying to do. And I'm going to do just a toddler quilt, so it's going to be right in the range there. Then I'll go and cut a white strip. I'll measure however it is, cut a white strip, and go back in and sew that down all the way down. And so then you'll do a series of all of these and sew your white strip. Another series, sew your white strip, another series, sew your white strip, and then we'll piece it all together. That's how I would do that one. So Vac Direct would be one, Danny. There's a whole, they're everywhere. They all come by different names. It just depends on what city you're in. I mean, everybody's got like their name, Sew and Vac, or you know, whatever. So you just look up Sew and Vac stores, and then it'll bring up a list. But yeah, I've heard of Sew Vac Direct, so that is one of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rachel, if you can get with Narrow, that'd be amazing. That's what this group's all about, because everybody's got so many different machines. So chances of you hitting somebody that has your machine or one very, very similar, if you run into issues, yeah, that's what we're all about, because we can all kind of generally guide you, but if you've got that same brand, at least, they're all somewhat put together the same, so you can kind of knock out some issues or some learning curves. Yep, Ken's is awesome, Mary. Yeah, that's right. You are affiliated with them. I forgot that. Yep. Yeah, Ken's is awesome. And Ken's will they just blow my mind. Okay, so you usually get free shipping. The minute you place the order, that thing ships like while you're still on the phone, or right as soon as your card processes. You might have the machine the next day. That's happened twice. And one day they delivered on Sunday. Weird. I'm like, really? FedEx brought it on a Sunday? No way. So those guys are over the top on delivery when it comes to shipping, and it's free. How can you do overnight shipping and afford that? I don't know. They must have some deal going, but it's amazing. I'm just like, wow, guys, you are so awesome. So yeah. And it wasn't even like afternoon, late night. It was like the next morning. So yeah, it was crazy, just crazy. Awesome, Mary. Yeah, yeah. Mention Mary's name. Hey, Kate. I don't know that I saw you come in. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Yeah, and the thing is, a good sewing store will always test drive every machine before they send it. They should be doing that. You should be getting. Here's something a lot of people don't know. Whenever you carry your machine, say you're going to go and travel somewhere, or they're shipping it, or whatever, you want to always put a piece of fabric underneath your presser foot. Yeah, I've got this stuck, so I was sewing it. Under your presser foot, put your presser foot down. Then put the case on and take it. You always want this down on a piece of fabric, and that will protect it as good as you can protect it. And when they ship it, that's how you're going to get it arrived, because they've test drived it. You get the piece of fabric that they test drive so you can see all the stitch outs on it. And then they've shipped it the correct way too, because then your presser foot's down and that piece of material's under there to protect it. And that keeps it from jiggling and bouncing and doing things it shouldn't do. So. Hey, Anna, no, don't apologize for being late, girl. It's all good. All good. I hope you're having a good weekend. So, Liz, how did the learning how to sew go? I didn't get to watch it yet. I know it was amazing. I have no doubt it was. How'd you do? Ha 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 ha, Liz, you got the bug. It's a very slippery slope. That's all I got to say. Pretty soon you're going to be like the rest of us, and you're not just going to have one machine. Anna, I'm working on the quilt along. You know, that thing that kind of got a slow start and it's kind of having a slow keeping going until after this next week. You've missed the conversation earlier. I've just got one more week that I'm out of pocket for work, and then I think I can have what I hate to say it too loudly and jinx myself, what I call a normal life. Not that my work life is anything normal, but I'm going to call it normal. Yeah, yeah, Sandy, definitely. Yeah. It's one of those where you don't realize you need it until you need it kind of thing. Yeah. And then you totally get, and then it can't get there soon enough. Okay, so I'm slowly putting them together so you can see what I was talking about. Yeah, Mary, so true. Once you sew, you don't go back. Absolutely. She's got the bug. Oh, you guys can't hear my dog. She's back here just real quietly snoring. I didn't know she knew how to snore quietly. She'll wake me up in the middle of the night, just bringing the roof down. She's so loud. Yeah, Nancy. We're enablers. Yes, we are. There you go. There you go. Mini iron. I've got a little one that I bought, I think it was Joann's a couple years ago, and then I moved and I packed the cord somewhere. I still haven't found the cord. And I've needed that little iron so much because it was just the perfect size to do like my labels and not have to pull out the big iron. And I'm just like, I've got to find a cord that's going to work with that. And it wasn't expensive. I think it was like 12 bucks, 15 bucks, something like that. But I'm sure a lot of you can feel my pain about when you move and you pack something, then you can't find it. Am I starting to sound like Angela? I think she's still looking for some things. Mary, I think they were talking earlier that you're going to do a late night live, so I think they're expecting you to. Yeah. I think you missed that chat. It was earlier. So, yeah, we were talking about how we go live hopping. And yeah, so. All right. Thanks, Wendy. Oh, I love that you get to be in your garden tomorrow. I hope you enjoy it. So, thank you. I hope you have a good evening. Okay, so I was telling you it was about 12 inches per two. So I'm still pretty much on because I just did 4 and measured it and it's right around 24 inches. So far I'm staying pretty good with my measurement. Yeah, I think you're right, Mary. I think it's up at the top left on Discord. So as far over left as you can go, and then you'll see the like people's pictures of their channels. I think it's up over there. Oh, awesome. So little unknown fun fact about AccuQuilt. And I didn't know this until, oh, maybe about 10 years ago. And it's not valid anymore, okay? So I grew up in a small town in Nebraska, little small town. That's where AccuQuilt started. And I didn't know it. And I was sitting at my sister's house and I realized that's where it was. You know where it was? It was in the warehouse right behind her house. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I went and I looked out and there was the sign right there on the building. I was like, oh my goodness. And they were like a big company at that time. And I'm like, no way. I could have been working for AccuQuilt if I'd stayed here. No way. And now I think they moved to like Omaha or Lincoln or something and they've expanded and stuff. But I was like, wow, that is so cool. Oh, Mary. So there you go, Mary. You know, you might actually have a bestseller there. Mary, those shorts you made your daughter were so cute. Every single one of those fabric combinations was really, really cute. Yeah, I know, Leslie. I bet a lot of people would. That could end up being like your claim to fame. It depends on the size, on how long it takes to make a quilt. And even that, it just depends also on the quilt top, on the pattern you choose. Um, you can knock out a quilt top really fast if you're doing just bigger squares and nothing too intricate. or you can do like the real big, like the quilt along we're doing either blocks or strips because they're kind of the same. So I was just kind of letting people choose either one or the other or a combination of the both, because I can show, we're going to do a spin off of that and show you how to shake it up just using those two a little bit as well. So if you chose really big squares, like I have some 12 by 12 squares over here, and you just wanted to put all of those together, or you wanted to do just really big strips, and you could do really wide strips, you could knock a quilt top out really fast, and a big one. And if you were doing like a toddler quilt and did kind of the same, granted scale for a toddler quilt, you're probably not going to want quite as big as squares or strips, but still, if you just did the wider strips and did like say 3-inch strips, you could knock a quilt out really fast, like in a day or two, really. Then when you start getting into more of the pattern stuff, and even this isn't bad, but it will take me a little bit longer just because I've got a little more piecing to do. Then you start getting into a little more time, and then that's where it's like, okay, what's the size you're doing? How intricate is the pattern? So I did a really intricate applique floral quilt, and I promised you guys I'd find that picture, and I just now remembered that I did for my sister. And I did it as a retirement gift for her when she retired from teaching, because she was able to retire very early because of the number system and everything. And it was a big one. It was a queen size, and it was all white blocks. And then you cut out, it was like a piece applique. So you cut out all the pieces and iron them on. And then you go in, and I did my sewing machine to sew them on raw edge like. And so it's all floral and all brights on this white background. And it was really pretty, but it did take me almost a year because it was very intricate. So it really, I can't answer any better than that. And I'm sorry. It really does depend. And then it depends upon your skills too. How confident are you with just putting things together? Are you one of those that really likes to sit back and think about it and design it and just even lay colors out and then come back the next day and maybe move a few blocks around until you get it just the way you want it, that kind of thing. So not an easy answer. I'm sorry. It was not a black and white one. The one that I'm doing, though, I'm doing all toddler quilts right now. I'm working on starting another branch to my business that I've always wanted to do, and it's Scandeez Home. So it's going to have home items. I've got a list of things that I've always planned on putting in there, but quilts is one of them. And I'm mainly going to concentrate on the little kids' quilts. I'm not going to do like the big full size. I might take some commissions, but nobody's going to really want to pay the price that it's going to cost to do those. I quoted a t-shirt quilt not too long ago, and I know the people thought it was too expensive, but it really wasn't. And it wasn't that exorbitantly out of the price range of any quilt, really. I think they just didn't realize how much it really does cost, because she's like, I know they're time intensive, but, and then when I quoted her the price, it was still, I thought, pretty cheap. It should have been way more than that. And anyway, she didn't take it, and I'm good. I'm fine with that, because it's like, that I do that to make money. I'm not doing it just because I need something to do. So yeah, it just, it's a labor of love on some of them. And that's what that retirement one was. I really wished I knew where that picture was. It was pre my iPhone days. So I know it would have been on there if it was my iPhone days, because I did not remove any pictures since I started with my iPhone. And I know I looked for it on there. So I got to go back to my computer and my box account and try and see if I've got it in there. I know I do. I've got a bunch of pictures of it somewhere. Not really, Dr. Early. I think I don't think it'll take you a year. I'm not kidding. The one I'm talking about was really labor intensive, really, really intricate. Like the blocks were this big, and I start with a white background, and then I lay out these little teardrop shape for leaves and stuff, and you have to cut all those out. And there was probably at least 50 to 100 of those teardrop shapes on each block. So it makes up all the flowers, and then the vines. You do the vines on the machine. You stitch out the vines, and then there's the leaves that go with it. Well, then you also have to stitch around each one of those on there. So you lay out the blocks, and after you've cut them all out, I mean, just the cutting alone took forever. I'm still finding, how many years later, I'll find one or two of those little teardrop shapes just in amongst my fabric here and there. I mean, I cut so many of those out. So when I say a year on that, that was a lot. It was it was labor intensive, but I knew it when I went into it. I totally knew it, and I was doing it because it's going to be an heirloom, and it's something that she did a lot to get there. She retired. She deserved to have something like that. So yeah, it was crazy. It was beautiful though. I mean, and I don't mean that to toot my own horn. It's just the brights against that white is what made it so pretty. And it made it just really like a garden. It was just, and that was, I actually followed the pattern because that's what the pattern did, and that's what caught my eye. And that's why I was like, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping it to those brights. I did not no, I don't hand stitch my binding. I use the sewing machine, and I know there's this big controversy out there. Some people are like, oh no, you only hand stitch. And others are like, oh no, you only, I use the machine, and I do it just for time, purely for time. So yeah. Yep. Yeah, Rachel's right. A throw is easy. It just depends upon, like the pattern you choose. You can do one really, really fast. So, yeah. Hey, Mina. Hey, Mina. Hey. I have to definitely find that picture because it was one of those where I loved it, but it took so long. I ended up hating it because it took so long. And then when it was done, I was like really glad I did it. But that last part really got tough because I was done. I was over it. It was just like, okay, yeah, the instant gratification, this is not it, obviously. Did I use special thread? I just made sure I used Gutermann. I made sure it wasn't a cheap thread, because when you do all that time on it, you want to make sure that you're using quality everything. Now, it's not something that she's going to, use and launder all the time, because it's not meant for that. But it's meant to be, folded really nicely and put over like the back of your couch or over your rocking chair or on a bed that you don't use. It's purely a showpiece, and it's put together that she can wash it. But the type of construction for the top of it is not meant to be laundered often. And so those little pieces may eventually fray quite a bit, that kind of stuff. So I'm doing well, Mina. How are you? It's the long weekend, and mine's been very busy, unfortunately. It's good, but it was not. I have yet to not get up to an alarm, is all I'm going to say. I've had things in the morning, commitments that I wasn't planning on, that came up at the last second. It's okay. It's just, I think some other people whose weekend it was to do this were probably on vacation. And so I had to step in and take over, but I'll sleep in tomorrow. No alarm. Yeah, I love Gutermann. I really do. It just doesn't have a lot of, I guess, bunnies that come off of it, I guess you could say. That it's, some of them, when you hold them up, you can see like the ends are kind of starting to fluff a little, all the way down. So where the Gutermann, you hold it up and you don't see that. It's spun very well. And the rate this is going, I'm thinking my solo or my quilt along is going to be next weekend. I don't think tomorrow I'm going to be ready. This is good, but I think it's going to take me another couple of hours to get to where I'm ready to have the next one. So I'm thinking it might be next Saturday. Yeah, the lint. And then it gets all in your machine and all that. I mean, you get lint in your machine as it is, but let's not help it along by the thread you use too, you know? One, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 more. And if you guys are doing quilts, just know you can go online and Google quilt sizes if you're kind of uncertain what size a quilt is. Now you're going to get a little variation depending upon what you look at, but you know, you can look at all the big names that just sell normal like bedding and get their quilt sizes, and then go over and look at like the people that are selling patterns and look at their quilt sizes. And you're kind of going to see they're only a couple inches off either way. So then you just kind of pick one that works for you. And I usually just hang on to that one. I've printed it out and kind of put it up somewhere and just went, well, at least I've got approximate sizes. You know, it doesn't have to be super exact, but you've got it like right over here. Oh, no, that's okay. That's what we're here for. All the questions, you bet. No, that's what we're here for. Don't ever apologize for asking questions on our lives, because that's why we do them. We want to help you guys. So I'll print it out and I'll put it up. And just as long as you kind of have an approximation, because you're never going to be exact. And so you're making it say, you know, you want to make a quilt for a friend and you know they've got a queen size bed. Now, then you just have to decide, do you want it just to cover the top, or do you want it to hang down a little ways over the side and over the back and, you know, the ends by the feet and all, and how much? And, you know, then you've got at least a basic quilt to start from. And then you can add on from there. And you'll get close. So don't overthink it. Leslie. Yeah, that's just it. You know, the questions everybody's asking, I guarantee you there's several that are thinking the same thing. They just haven't asked it yet. So yeah. All right, so since I'm doing a toddler quilt, I'm going to stop at about the 48 inches, because then by the time I add my top and my bottom, well, actually I've already got the top, I'm sorry. By the time I add the bottom, and actually, you know what? I'm going to do this one more. All right, I didn't quite do that right. Yeah, I didn't quite do that right. All right, so I'm going to add one more square. I'm going to be good then. Everything's going to be good. And I will be kind of in that range. And then I'll show you guys. And so by the time I add my top piece and my bottom piece, that's going to add another couple inches onto it. Whenever I do these like this, I always forget that I've got to add one more square that doesn't have the white already put on, and I'll show you guys why that don't know what I just did and why. Okay, so I was doing all of these putting together after I did this, okay? Well, I like to finish mine with a continuous piece at the top and the bottom. And so if I start doing like this one and then add my next one underneath, well, then I've got this white piece up here and I can't do a continuous one. So I've got to add one more square so that I can add my white continuous piece once I've sewn everything together all the way across. Then I'll do my white continuous piece at the top and at the bottom. And I just, for me, I like that look. I think it's nice and clean. There's no rule saying you have to do it that way, okay? You can piece it in. There's nothing wrong with that. So you can run your white piece down, say this wasn't here, and you run your white piece down here, and this could be pieced all the way across. That's perfectly fine too. It's just a preference of mine. Oh, that's going to be cool, Mary. Oh, good, Leslie. Yeah, and Gooderman's really easy to get. Yeah, you can get that at Joann's real easily. Okay, so here's my first strip. Let me back up just a little bit. So it's blues and greens. So my next strip, and this is just because my charm pack came this way, I'm not doing this for any other reason, is going to be reds and yellows. And then I'll do that strip and put that next to it and decide if I want to add that to that quilt. I'm just going to lay it there. Or if I want to make one quilt that's going to be strictly reds and yellows and another quilt that's going to be blues and greens. Now I tend to do the all this and then all this. So I'm probably going to lean that way. But since my charm pack came with these, I want to do it and I can do all my strips and then decide later, lay it all out. And then if I want to go and do it the way I normally do it, then I've got basically 2 quilts almost done. Where if I don't and I decide I like this, then I might just have 1 quilt and finish it up. So yeah, we'll go from there. And so if I decide to do this colorization, I can add in other blues and greens that are the same and then make separate strips, and it'll flow just fine. So there's a lot of ways to work around things if you're a little uncertain about what you want to do. A charm pack. Okay, I don't know if I have any more around here. So when you go to quilting stores, you go to an online quilting shop or whatever, there's various ways you can buy pre-cut fabrics. And a charm pack is squares. They're all squares cut that are about 5 by 5, or some of them can be bigger, 8 by 8, 10 by 10, whatever. But most of the time what they do is they will take a fabric line that a designer did, and they have like, say, maybe 20 fabrics in that fabric line. And then they'll cut 2 each of each color or each fabric or whatever, however it works in that fabric line, and put them together into one, what they call a charm pack. So you'll have, usually, I don't have the bottom piece here, it's 40 some pieces usually. And so they all were designed to go together. And so that's a charm pack, and you can make quilts out of those. You make a quilt top, or you can buy them in strips. There's like, about 5 or 7 or so different cuts, and they all have a name. But this one's a jelly roll. So a jelly roll is where they will take a bolt of fabric and they will cut a strip that's, what is it, 1.5 inches wide? Yeah, 1.5 inches wide by the width of the fabric. So take your bolt and this way, okay, up and down. And they'll take however many of those, 2 to 4, I don't remember, mine fell apart so a long time ago, so I don't remember. But then they will roll those up and they'll lay them all together. Again, usually it's a fabric line, just like the charm pack. And so they lay them and they roll them. And I'm just going to pretend this is this. But the ends all, they have a special way they roll. And the ends all don't end at the same place. They randomly end, and they'll take one and roll and add the next one and roll and add another one and keep rolling. So that you get this thing that's like about this big around as a roll. And the ends are all the way around it. It's really pretty. And then they tie it with a ribbon. Well, my ribbon came off and then my jelly roll came apart. So there's that. So that is just different ways of cutting, but these will make strip quilts, or you can use these. You can buy these as plain. So I could, instead of cutting my white, I could have bought just plain white in the jelly roll and used that because it was already pre-cut. So, but since I already have a lot of fabric, I didn't do that. And they also have themes, like this one's a Christmas theme. They'll have Halloween theme, they'll have spring theme, fall theme, you know. They're very addicting, is all I'm gonna say. It's very, very addicting. You can do so many things with these besides just making quilts too. So Diane, you want to do on a street fair, you want to do pre-made. You probably would be hard pressed to take orders on things. A street fair, people want instant gratification. So it's kind of like going through a checkout stand and they have all that stuff right there that you can buy, kind of, you know, it's that impulse purchase. That's kind of what a street fair is. They do a lot of impulse purchasing. So you definitely want to have the goods for them to go home with if you can do it. You know, if you want to take an order for one or two things and everything else is already pre-made, that's a whole different story. You will probably get a few orders. You probably won't get a lot, but you might. You know, you could maybe hit the right thing for the right people and get a ton of orders, but most of the time it's impulse. And yeah, you definitely want to capitalize on that. So yeah, I think the quilt along is going to be next Saturday, guys. That's kind of the way it's looking to me. I think I'm going to need tomorrow to keep working on this, and tomorrow I've got a couple of things that kind of popped up at the last minute as well. So I don't have as much of my day as I thought I was going to. So yeah, it's just feeling like I'm feeling like I wouldn't be as prepared as I would like to be. So next Sunday, also don't forget, next Sunday is my sew along, and we're doing animal shaped pillows. And I've started researching that, and I'm finding some really cute things. So I think that one's going to be fun, and it'll be really good for people that are learning how to sew. And you can also incorporate your embroidery machine. So I think it's going to be a fun little project. And there's a lot of, I'm trying to say, there's a lot of different things you can do to personalize, change, whatever, make it your own. See, and as you guys are learning too, my sew alongs, I'm trying to push you guys a little bit out of the box. It's not just here's the pattern, here's how we do it. You've watched me, those of you that have been watching me enough know I'm also showing you how you can change it up, how things, you know, right here it can change, right here it can change, you can do this, you can do that. So I really think these pillows will be amazing to push you guys out of the box and show you how, you know, you can just change the ear shape or put ears on it or change the eyes or, you know, make it have spots, and it'll completely change what it is. So I really think that's going to be a fun sew along, and I think it's going to really be something you guys can have a good time with. And they don't have to be huge, you know, they can be little. They can be little little ones for little kids, or you can do these really big fun ones that the kids can throw at each other, or maybe you just want one for their bed, or maybe you just want one, you've always wanted one and it's that closet desire and nobody's gonna know, So yeah, I think we'll have a good time next Sunday. I'm really looking forward to that because I started looking at it this morning and I got a lot of ideas. And I already had some ideas, and I just got a ton more when I was just kind of looking at things. So I think that's going to be a blast. But yeah, tonight I think I'm going to cut it a little short. I'm still really tired from last week, and I think it's going to be crazy. Oh, thank you, Shayna. Thank you for my Instagram thing. Also, I keep forgetting. Those of you that aren't on Discord, I'm starting to post the material list for the sew-alongs on my Facebook page, which is also Scandeez. So I know a lot of people have asked where they can go find the material list, and that was one of those aha moments. I'm like, why didn't I think of that sooner than last time? It's just sometimes the obvious is right here and you don't see it until you do, and then you're like, wow, that was crazy. There you go. See, yeah, that's a great idea. And then you can do customs on some of that stuff. Absolutely. People get excited about that at fairs. That's how Angela Jasmina started. I always do that. I combine her first and her last name. It just kind of comes out that way. But that's how she started. She was carrying her PE 800. And I think it was actually the 770. She had 770 and she was taking it with her. So, yeah, it works, guys. It works. They love it. It's that one little bit of thing that a lot of people aren't doing. And if you've got the space and you can actually get the electricity, that's the big things. Make sure, you either get close to a place to plug in or you've got it figured out how you can have electricity. So, but yeah, guys, I hate to cut you off, but I know you got other lives. I know Mary's going to go. Mary, you're going live, girl. You're after me. I'm handing the baton to you. So you can go and fire up the girls and head on over. I'm going to have to hit the hay tonight still, guys. Man, I can't believe how much last week kicked my butt. I'm dragging. I'm dragging hard. But yeah, I will be here next Saturday for the quilt along. Probably late morning, which is what I did last time. And it really seemed to work out good. I think it was like, I guess it was early afternoon maybe. I think I did 12:30 Central Time. I got to go back and look. It was perfect for me, and I think it worked out really good for a lot of you guys because you got your morning errands done, got the kids settled, got everybody in. If you're not quilting, it doesn't mean you can't come chat with us, just like we do tonight. And then I'll be live Sunday night too for the sew-along. So you guys will get me twice next weekend. I'll make up for a little bit of this time here. Yeah, I wanted to go longer tonight, but I'm losing steam, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, bye, Anna. Good night, everybody. Thank you. I hope you have a safe weekend. Those of you that are in the U.S., again, happy long Memorial weekend, and thank you for serving. And enjoy your family. I hope you get some barbecue. I hope you get some sunshine. I hope you get some swimming. I hope the weather cooperates for everybody and you get some much needed rest, okay? And I will see all of you guys next weekend. I love you so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.